now. So far, it's looking good. Vaughn, how are you doing?
Man, I'm doing great.
It's been a little while, I guess.
It's been too long, my friend. Too long. Is that guitar the one that got hurt behind you? Is that a
It,
different one?
that's a different one.
Okay. We
The
got to
hurt,
get you to 30K. Oh, there's the
yeah,
hurt one. See, we got to get Daddy a new guitar. We got
yeah.
to get you a
So
new one.
I use this as an opportunity to just get a new
To
guitar.
smash someone over the head. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yes, we need to get you a new one. We need to help get you a new one by selling some
yeah.
books. But yeah, I'm feeling amazing because I just finished the script for the bonus story going into the Monster MD book, Heidi's story, her backstory of how she became invisible. Hidden Monster, 14 pages, awesome story. It's going to break your heart. But that's made my book that much thicker. So we are now going from like a
Wow.
114 page book to 128 pages.
Wow. That's good.
Yeah.
That is value right there. Well,
I'm just handing out the books, the free books.
how close are you to being finished with it?
Let's see. We are almost halfway done with coloring. We've finished every inked page. But now my
Wow.
artist has to get on the Heidi bonus story.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a little, like, and that won't take long because he's awesome. He's fast. Marco rules. So 14 pages won't take very long for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say 100% done with inks, 100% done with script, 45 or 40 to 45% done with colors. And yeah, we're just going to keep trucking from there. Maybe early 2020, we will see the book go out. It'll be all printed up and it'll go out.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Man, I'm excited. Yours is one of those books. I'm decided I'm getting more picky with the books I back because
Me too.
I've got a lot of money tied tied up in comics and crowdfunding campaigns, and it just feels like I don't have them yet. And I'm in the same place. I'm still getting my book, so I get it. But yeah, I don't know. It's a good problem to have, I guess.
Yeah. No
Scott's in the
doubt.
chat. Scott, I sent the link if you're interested in jumping in. Jump in. In a Disguise is here. Matthew Fowler, Caesar. What's up, guys? Hello. Give up the wrench. Don't be a tool. Do you need a wrench? Or actually, I gotta check here.
Just a bunch of wrenches.
I'll give you a wrench if you want one. Let me know. Let's see.
I'm the wrench fairy.
Caesar says, can't wait to get a hold of Monster MD and also Downcast. Oh, good. You're in the right stream then. Appreciate that.
You definitely are.
Yeah. This is one of those things like, I don't know how you are, but for me as a writer, it's kind of, I don't know. You feel like you can do a lot of things except do the art. So it's just like waiting for pages. Downcast has 20 pages left. So really it's getting close, but it's still like enough that you're like, not quite there.
Yeah, but you'll get there, man. That's good. That's close. That must feel pretty good.
Yeah,
not as tense, I hope.
No. Yeah, we're ahead of schedule, so that's good. I have on the campaign that we're going to be finished in January.
Now, it's your job to tell people on Twitter that so they can get pumped and hopefully want to get the book if they haven't already too. Like, because that's like you said, like you're just waiting, but you're not. As the writer, you're also the promoter and you are the business guy behind it. So promote the hell out of it, man, and say this is the final push because we're almost, because once you're done, I don't know, but what are your plans for when you shut down the shop?
We'll be shut down for sure. And then Downcast Part 2, it's going to conclude the story. We're going to get started on that immediately. I'm going to do this a little different though. I'm not launching that campaign until the book is closer to being finished, so it won't be such a long time. So yeah, I guarantee there's going to be a period of time where people are like, I want to get the book, and they're not going to be able to because obviously when we launch the second one, we'll make the first book available. But yeah, you definitely have that time period. It's kind of funny because you usually think, this is how I am anyway, I can back that project, I can back it, I'm going to wait, and then all of a sudden it's gone, and yeah, that's a bad feeling. That's what I did with oh man, I'm forgetting the name of it now. The great horror on the seas, maritime horror, Alejandro's book.
Yeah, It's Long Harbor.
Long Harbor. Thank you. I forget the
Also
name.
known as Long Wait. No, I'm just kidding, Alejandro. I love you.
Yeah,
I can't wait for him to get this book out, man. It's going to be a work of art, of
yeah.
horrific art.
And I really hope that he launches it again or something, because that was one I'm like, oh, I got to get that. I'll get it. He's going to be working on this for a while, and then the campaign closed.
Yeah.
And so I feel like a
Yeah.
doofus. I missed it.
Yeah. You know, I'm pretty friendly with the guy who's been helping Alejandro set it up, Nashitobi, on Twitter and stuff. He's an amazing guy, really cool artist, really thoughtful designer and stuff. But he helped with that. Maybe we could talk to him about just buying one outside of the campaign if they have extra copies, you know,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
sell.
You'd think so. I just take my money. That's all I'm asking, Alejandro.
I'll ask for you if you want.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Hello there.
There's
Eric.
Hey, buddies. How you doing?
Hey, bud.
Wasn't this the group you had figured out for? We're gonna name it something. The weather report, the forecast. I can't remember. You already have a stream.
Yeah, I have a
named
stream
after
that I
one of
haven't
those.
done in a while called The Forecast. I'm knee deep in lettering Jawbreaker's God King right now, so I may pay attention. I may not. You might be able to get some spoilers if you look at the reflection of my glasses.
Oh, I'm reading page 30.
That's what I was doing.
Mirror my mirror
Oh,
my image, and then you
dude.
can read everything.
Silkworm naked. That's weird.
That is weird.
You should make a little
Also,
silky thong.
kind of expected.
Yeah. He's subverting expectations.
That's right.
Yes.
You know, it's funny. I watch. I try to catch most of your boy Zach's videos. I miss some of them because he uploads a lot, but
Yeah.
it's kind of funny to get updates. And then he did the one where he was showing the lettering process and the size differences.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that Eric is hard at work, I guess.
I'm working, and I'm trying to get all of this done by tomorrow morning, which means I may not sleep tonight, but that's okay.
Oh, wow. Is it just because the deadline is what it is type thing, or?
Well, a bit. And I also told him, because he's like, hey, the pages are ready. When can you get it done? I said, end of the week. He said, could you do sooner? I said, probably Tuesday morning.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to be a man of my word is all.
So this is the
Right
end
on.
then. He's gonna fulfill the campaign. I take it.
I think it's going to be open for a while because he's going to run through edits and all of that. So we'll see.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But, back it while you still can.
Done is better than perfect, man. And then you can always go back and edit, polish it up.
That's right. Yeah. So he's going to do what he did last time with Lost Souls, is hire some fans, if you will, to read it, give them their thoughts, make any changes. And then if there are any lettering changes, obviously those will come back to me. So yeah.
Cool. This is exciting, man. You got your finger in so much comics history. I want to say Comicsgate history, but it really is like comics history.
Yeah.
The industry is so small.
It is a tiny industry, and I'm fortunate to be a part of a good chunk of it. In my own small way. From
absolutely,
titans like Jawbreakers and Graveyard Shift to the mid-tier stuff like our books and like the little stuff that, I'm all over the map. I mean, I've got Downcast. What?
Downcast.
Monster MD. And like I said,
yeah.
Graveyard Shift, Earthworm Jim. I'm all over the place.
Yeah. So lots of good stuff. Let's see. Dark Admiral March here says he's supposedly going to open it back up. I think he's talking about Alejandro and Long Harbor. I hope he does.
Oh, cool.
That would I'll just pump his numbers up. I'm sure there are more people that would back it too. That looks really good. I did see David Furr here too. I want to what's new in comics. David Furr. He called me up. I mentioned this before. I'm going to mention it again. He contacted me and said, "Hey, I'm working on a project of Golden Age superheroes. Do you want to write one?" And I said, "Heck yes, I do." And so I wrote Silver Streak. David, you'll have to let me know in the chat when.
That's so awesome.
If you have a date yet when this is launching, but I know it's coming soon. David says hi. Yeah. So it's cool. So it's me, David Furr and Chuck Dixon are the writing team. We have Preston Acevedo,
That's awesome.
who's one of the artists, and I know we're working through David. David is running the show. So he said 1 or 2 weeks it's going to be launching.
Well, if you need a letterer, Jawbreakers is going to be done by tomorrow. I'm just saying.
Yeah, David, I don't know where you're at with lettering, but there you go. You heard it right here.
The man himself is ready to infect another book.
David says he's got Silver Streak pencils to show me.
The plague grows.
You know what?
I just want to. I want to write Black Terror so bad, man. I wish I could be on that.
yeah. David's writing Black Terror. Chuck Dixon is doing.
Oh, he's the guy. So he's the guy heading it up, and he's writing Black Terror. Then he's going to do a good job. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. I read the script. I read Chuck's script as well.
Oh yeah,
it's really cool to just
Chuck's
be amongst these writers. You guys want to see some pages from? There's 2 penciled pages from Silver Streak.
Oh hell yeah!
There,
if we're allowed,
share screen. I think so.
And also, it must be amazing seeing their scripts and how they write.
Yeah, that has been really cool to see. It's weird because before I got into this whole YouTube game, I was like, how do other people write? And I wanted to find a writers group specifically for comics, and it seemed really hard, at least around here. There are a lot of fiction writers, but not comics. So it was really cool to see how they handled their scripts.
So that Jim Zub connection is not working out really well, is it?
Oh, no. Yeah. No. He's
what?
He's been just polite enough to me. Before the YouTube, since the YouTube channel, he doesn't like me very much. He's let me know.
Jim Zub. Well, at least he gives advice and stuff.
He does.
So this is like a choose your own adventure Silver Streak. He's like, do I go around to the left, down the middle, or on to the right? Like, what is that?
So this is a reimagining.
Like figuring it out.
Exactly. Okay. This is a random page, and the way that I was thinking of it is because it's kind of a revamp of Silver Streak in modern age. I thought if you had super speed, you'd have to be very careful. You might be able to run really fast, but can you think really fast? And so it would actually be extremely dangerous going at that high of speed. So this is just one like visual representation of him trying to figure out which route, and then this is going into a building that he's never been inside of, and so it could potentially be pretty dangerous. And so, it was pretty cool seeing some of the art that he did.
He just goes straight down the middle. He's just like, I'm going for the door.
Just run in there. Who knows what you're going to find?
The only criticism I can give is that that second panel where the top of his head is kind of making a tangent with the panel, the panel itself above. I would tell the artist about that. And have him either break it or cut it. You know.
Good catch.
Break it. Always.
Yeah. That's part of our craft. It's going to happen, I think, in all of our books. Is you're going to have tangents, and you have to look out for them, and delete them wherever you can.
David, if you're taking notes here, and these are just pencils, so this is the perfect time to be bringing it up.
Yes,
yeah. And David says I'm doing him, but maybe you could do the next one. He's talking about the book.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Boomerang are really hard here. I wish I could blow this up so I could see the tangent a little better that you're talking about.
Hey, welcome. We got Dusty Tortillas representation here.
What's going on?
Well, we're just looking at some comics.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah, we're looking at there's a tangent right here. This is good. It's the pencil stage. So
it's so small to me. Hold on. Let me go over to YouTube. Sometimes I'm on Wi-Fi. I'm in my little corner. That's all I'm allowed. Let me see if it looks better on YouTube and that I don't have a huge latency issue like I did last time anytime I tried to download anything.
You're good.
I'm only glancing at it. Again, I'm under a deadline. So if I'm out of it, if I'm just like, because it's
any other pages or
I got one more. I don't want you to see all my. Let me see. Stop sharing.
All your nude.
I don't want to see you see all my DMs, so I gotta get the right one here. There's the next one. Share screen, and he's got his work cut out for him.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so he gets into the building and it's really foggy and smoky. And so if you have super speed, this is to me my logic. If you have got super speed and you can't see where you're going, that is a problem. That's a big weakness. So yeah, then we've got this character. This is an original character that I invented. Her name is Weaver, and basically she has the power of
basket making,
mind control, kind of, or she not basket making. Yeah, she can get in your head, and so yeah, this is just two
and make you a great scarf. No, that's awesome. I almost wonder if he's tempted to run really fast in a circle and make all that mist kind of whoosh, or it might be too dangerous if it's tight in there, you know? Yeah, so that's kind of cool. You're approaching it from like the more realistic standpoint of like you can get really hurt. You got to be very careful with super speed.
Yeah. Well, and this is I took some influence from Batman Year One. This is like Silver Streak Year One, and so he's still trying to figure out his limits. And so this may be a turning point. I don't want to give away too much, but this is definitely something he's got to learn and figure out and be more comfortable with, just diving in and getting
nice,
not hesitating and doing what he needs to do. So yeah,
I attended a panel I watched Marv Wolfman do a panel a number of years ago in Louisiana. And he was saying that the super speed characters are the most difficult characters to write, because as soon as they know the location of the enemy's dead. Or if they have a murderous intent, they can kill them. If they don't, they can capture them easily by tying them up at the speed of light, et cetera, et cetera. And so it's always interesting to see exactly how the problem is going to be put in front of them, especially with something like a mental character who can put mist that can't immediately clear. Because my first thing would be like, okay, so he's got mist in front of him, but it's like any of us running through the mist. They think fast too, so can't they just juke out of the way? They have better reflexes than us, but if it's literally in their head, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, I'm glad that you said that, because that's my same thought process. Is how do you stop super speed? You
with super slowness.
So super slow. Is that a superpower?
Super speed bumps. Yeah,
it is now.
Super slow. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I'm really looking forward to it. It's been really cool. And so I don't know, you get a little bit of the pie. I've read all the scripts, including the one I wrote. I'm really excited about it. This would be one, like, I've never actually written a superhero story before, but I thought, man, I could totally continue this and make a series out of it. I think it'd be kind of fun.
Did you study up on some Golden Age stuff for this, or were you trying to approach it more just from your own personal standpoint?
No, that's a good question. Yeah, I did. I went back, and all this stuff, it's public domain, and so it's great. I found archives online with all the original comics, and so the storyline here is actually, it's sort of a retelling of the second issue, kind of. I took, I guess, the main problem here from it, but new bad guys. I tried to make it a little bit more, three-dimensional, I guess. Some of those stories back then are just very right on the nose, and and that's the kind of the medium that they were. So I just tried to put my spin on it and do a retelling. But yeah, I took a lot of stuff from the Golden Age books, and then you can tell too with his costume, it really pays homage to the original. But you look at that SS. What do you think? What do you think people are going to say? It's the first thing I saw.
Super speed.
This is like,
there you go.
He's a Nazi.
They're going to think Flying Fortress. Currently on Indiegogo in demand.
Special stud. Special stud.
Son of Sam. Something fun.
Yeah.
When I took my nephew to this cute little engineer fair recently, and he was we were making a little race car together, because they had they had foam blocks set out with little wheels you could attach, and you could race drop the car down a track. It was real fun for the kids. But my nephew carved this evil looking SS into his car. Like, he didn't mean to, but it came out looking just like some sort of crazy Nazi symbol. And I was just like, all right then, everybody stay away.
Go big or go home, I'll stay.
Yeah.
Scare your competition or whatever. But
So
If
funny.
it starts gathering up micro machines made in China, then you've got to worry. Rounding them up into one particular toy box somewhere in Poland.
Sorting by. I got to tell you guys. Hello, Scott. By the way, welcome.
Hello.
What's going on, guys?
Great
What's
to
up,
see you. I got to tell you,
Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, don't lose your thought. I had a little exercise one time in the workplace where they hired some diversity teacher to come in and teach us about our privilege and things. And the way that they started is they had a jar full of buttons of all different colors, and they dumped them out on the table, and they said, "Sort these buttons." And how is this not a trap? You get the buttons, and like you can't win. It doesn't matter how you
sort them alphabetically.
You sort them by size.
Yeah,
That's still problematic.
Still a problem.
Everything was problematic. So it was just hilarious to go through. I took pictures even like oh man, the stories.
Okay.
They literally were trying to tell you you're a bad person for having a totally normal human mind that would put the correct buttons together. Like, what? Are you a bigot because like you pair your socks when you do your laundry now?
What does this tell? What does this tell you about how I eat M&Ms?
Oh,
Are you
save all the green ones for the end? You know,
indiscriminate? Yeah,
the green ones are dessert.
Green privilege.
And they're like,
well, if I remember,
go ahead.
The M&M's cartoons, the green ones were the sexy ones, right?
That's right.
I think he waits till
that maybe the marketing worked on you.
Hey, but we don't talk about that kind of stuff on Clint's show, so man, tamp it down.
Everything
down.
Oops. no sexy M&Ms here.
Hey, you know what I hate? I really hate the guy who comes into the conversation and like rewinds it. You know, like 5 minutes past where you guys are at. So the thing when you're writing the super character is just because he's fast doesn't mean he necessarily perceives the world faster than, you know, because like we only see we only think in like so many hertz per second. And like, so that's the reason why you can't catch a fly, because they think like 45 hertz per second, whereas, you know, your brain works at like 30 hertz or something. I can't remember what the number is, but the idea is they're always going to be ahead of you. Yeah. Because of their perception.
Nice mansplaining.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm a man and I'm explaining to you my thought process.
That's exactly the story. Yeah, no, I appreciate you saying that, because I thought the same thing. Is to me that's an interesting problem rather than the super speed. I don't know about the Flash, if he can think. I actually don't really read Flash comics.
I don't either.
They must have addressed it.
Comics.
The last thing they said on the subject of his perception was that he was capable of perceiving things that happen within an attosecond, which is a length of time that's used to calculate light moving between atoms.
So that actually is a stronger power than the ability to move fast, if you ask me.
Yeah, it is. It really
Speed
is.
Force. The Speed Force is crazy. They just keep making it crazier over the years.
But think about it. If you can move that fast, but you perceive things like a regular person, I mean, you're going to run into something, you know?
Every moment is an entire lifetime worth of thought process to him. Absolutely every single one.
I like that.
It's not even an exaggeration.
Sith Army, I love it.
Jason Black says he's caught flies before. Super speed.
With chopsticks?
Everybody's caught flies before, but the point is that they always, you know, it's you got to literally sneak up on a fly versus catching it.
Yeah.
Right.
There's something about how fast can you think. You know what, Vaughn? I know that I cut you off. You had something to say. No, it's fine. I don't. Well, do you remember what it was?
I just wanted to ask if anyone wanted to see a sneak peek of a one-shot comic that I'm working on.
Yes,
of course.
Nah, not really.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the majority on this one.
While you're looking that up, you guys saw this. We talked a little bit about this off the air first. This is the Sith Army knife.
Did you remember they did that? They did that for Kylo Ren.
So funny.
I remember that happening for Kylo Ren on the Force Awakens first teaser. That
maybe it's the same person.
Could be.
Yeah, this is pretty funny though. I have actually not seen the trailer even yet of this. I don't care.
I didn't see it until I watched it on Ethan's live stream. I mean,
tear it apart.
well, so the funny thing is I totally agree with him on this. Is that I'm not interested in the story, but there's like set pieces and things that there's artistic stuff in it that is going to be wonderful. But the problem is that it's all hung on a rotten corpse.
Uh huh. My whole thing about it is looking at it, and I think they did themselves a disservice by putting in legacy stuff, because it's right after Luke blows up the Death Star. He's coming down off the ladder off his X-wing, and somebody just tackles him, and I think it was Han. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was Han.
I think it's Leia. But...
was it Leia? That makes more sense for the framing, for the metrics. But somebody tackles him with this hug. He's sweating. It's a very emotional moment. Everybody is just gleeful, and it's this very real, very 70s shot of characters just enjoying what's going on. That may have even been a rap day. They could have timed it just right to where like something important happened for everybody, but everybody seems happy, and it's just charged with so much energy and emotion. And then I was looking for that equivalent moment in anything that's come from the new trilogy, and of course it's not there. Of course nobody's that happy. Of course nobody's that of course nobody's wrapped up in that kind of a genuine celebration, because like you said, rotten core.
Yeah.
None of that feeling's there.
For me, it's like I already have been disappointed so often with the new movies that I honestly just don't care. Like, I'm happy to just not even watch it. I don't know, that sounds like blasphemy, but I just don't care.
The thing about these new movies that bothers me is that they're marketing it as this big, like, end to the Skywalker saga. That's not what the first two movies they made were. They made these weird, creepy, like, Star Wars goes girly feminism movies. And then the second one was Star Wars hates its past, and its past sucked. You should like the new one or else. Yeah. And then this one's like, finally, we're finishing the Skywalker saga. I'm like, you didn't even mention the Skywalker saga, and you were too scared to show Luke in The Force Awakens. So this is a shot, a screen. It's not the full page. It's obviously just kind of a piece of a panel on a page. This is a shot from God Gun, the new one shot that I'm working on with James McVan. And I think so far so good. We're still figuring out like what our aesthetic's going to be. So this page is from the test page, so things are maybe liable to change. But I'm just really excited about it, and we're starting the book kind of in this kind of corrupt city where everything's slimy down below, and then up top you have kind of the gods looking down, and they're nice penthouse lifestyles. But it's a film noir kind of style meets Greek gods, where a Cyclops is out for revenge against Zeus, and he has to find a god-imbued, powered gun to be able to take him out. Unfortunately, the only gun he finds is a Cupid gun, and he has no idea how it works, and he kind of thinks it's going to be wimpy. So that's the story.
Is a god gun like a thing in like science fiction or?
We just made it up on one of Narwhal's streams forever ago when we were jamming out story ideas, and I just kind of took it and ran with it. The idea was that Zeus, as you know, historically has always meddled with humans a lot. In fact, he's made like a lot of babies with humans. And then one day he cuts it off for all gods. He's like, no more, man. He's like, you do that, I'm going to kill you or whatever. You're going to get punished. So the gods imbue these guns with their power.
You literally cut it off.
It's like a loop. It's
Clint.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Sorry.
Cut it out.
I was picturing an Olympian diaphragm.
I don't know.
Diagram?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening.
I don't know where this went.
Okay. Well, anyway,
it has a very Sin City look to me.
Yeah, it does.
I dig it.
Yeah. I like it a lot too.
That's cool.
I think I told him to look at Sean Gordon Murphy's White Knight, you know, for the look I was kind of envisioning. And I think what's cool about this for James is James is a fantastic illustrator, but he's been doing concept work for so long. And this gets to be his first comic. Oh, so cool. This is a pretty big deal for him. It's kind of like his coming out party. So he and I are going to work on this to make it the most badass thing we can. Basically, the gods are pissed. They don't get to interact with the humans or meddle with them anymore. So they put their power into these rare guns that some people are able to get a hold of. And it kind of gives a mortal, you know, you get to wield the power of a god for a minute. But every gun has its own rules, you know.
And every rose has its thorn.
That's right, Michael.
He's got a point. What's the plan for this one?
Michaels.
Are you doing a campaign or what?
I might do a campaign where we could make it bigger than just your typical one shot, but there's another. I'm kind of spitballing the idea of taking all these different one shots that I've had brewing over the years and putting 3 of them together in a book calling it Triple Threat and putting it out. But anthologies are kind of people don't like them as much.
But that's the way. If you're going to do an anthology, that is the way to do it. I think I posted a video today where I was pretty critical of anthologies, but it was specifically one that's on Kickstarter right now. But yeah, that's part of the problem is that there's not enough story. I feel like, or they're so random and different. These would all be connected because they're all written by you. And they're all longer. I don't know, is it 24 pages? One shot, 32 pages?
This one is 22 pages, something like that. 20 or 22. Yeah. Real standard.
Yeah, but that's healthy. It's not like a 2-page, you know, which again, like maybe there's a place for that. I just don't. It's not.
If you're the one doing all of the stories, if you're the one writer, is it really an anthology?
I don't know. That's what I was wondering. I felt like I would have a chance of publishing 3 stories in one cool book and people would actually want to buy it, but I'm not 100% on it yet.
But the idea is it's the same role, the same writer and the same artist, right? But different characters.
I would have different artists for each story.
Oh, okay. But the world would be the same though, huh?
No, there's 3.
It is an anthology.
Like God Gun. Yeah, if it's different stories. God Gun, and then I was thinking about doing one called Mancer, and I was thinking about doing one called Dead Driver. So,
that's no difference in Tales from the Stacks. I mean, you know, Professor Geek's writing all 3 of those, and he just has 3 different artists.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then that's
back to stuff like Creepshow and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, the idea is
that's a fun one.
Same issue, but ultimately they're 3 completely different stories.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Well, I don't know. Let us know.
So I don't know. I might do that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Yeah,
chat,
would you guys want to buy a book of 3 of some of my most badass stories with really good artists?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, that's the point I wanted to make. Is it depends on who the writer is. Vaughn, I think, is you are solid. Those would be stories I think people would want to read. But yeah, let us know in chat for sure if that'd be something you'd be interested in.
If you need a
What's
letter,
kind of fun about, dude? I'm already planning for you to letter this. But this shot is kind of fun because I gave him that classic picture of James Dean walking with his shoulders and the coat up with the rain on him for this, and he kind of captured that well here. Nice. I think finding like good, powerful visual images that people have kind of seen before, but they don't necessarily recognize right away can help make for stronger imagery. Feels kind of familiar.
I really feel like this could be a cover or a print or something as far as this image. It's very iconic, you know?
Yeah, it's really cool.
This looks like a landscape poster to me, honestly. I'm absolutely in love with the skyline. And that influence from Sean Gordon Murphy, like that in turn is an influence from Batman the Animated Series with those big skylight, the big searchlights going up in the back and stuff like that. And the fact that as you get further down into the city, the rain is bouncing back up and it's creating this glare that doesn't actually happen, but it's like a big beacon in the middle of the city. It's so out there and so artistic and something that you only get in a comic book that I just absolutely infatuated.
Yeah, really, really cool.
Great.
The other thing I like too is that I don't know, I've been thinking about this. There are a lot of really good professional artists that they don't have work in comics, so they're working elsewhere, doing art.
Right.
Mhm.
And so it's cool to see, you're being able to pull someone like that over to comics and do their thing here. There's got to be really so much
man.
talent out there. They just need opportunities.
Exactly. James is amazing too. He's actually had some problems with censorship and SJW stuff over the years. So he was very eager to sign on and work with me to make this happen. He's been amazing to work with. And I feel like he's, with this book, he's gonna, you guys might be having him on the show sometime. So
Well, another guy
Going
that kind of
places.
falls in that category that really has struck me as like one of the strongest guys around has been Alejandro Mirabel, from Long Harbor.
Oh yeah.
He did a lot of concept stuff, and I think this is his first comic project, man. I mean, some of these guys, I if these guys could come over into comics, I don't know that the money's going to be what they want, but man,
It's the reason why they're doing concept art is because
I know
of the money.
because the money is so good.
Well, it's not the only reason, but it's
out
big.
there.
That's why
what,
if you can get them paid, I don't know, like Vaughn maybe feel the same way. And Scott as well, but I feel like I'm in this position where if I can be the marketing guy, like I'm doing my part to get people paid and get talent.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's hard to get paid. So,
Well, the other thing too is it's something that they don't have. Concept work is absolutely pulling stuff out of your mind for money. But you never own it. So I think if some of those guys had come across the idea of if I do this, I own it, then that could be value to them, especially if they're like Long Harbor. The art in there is just sick. Your guy is just a sick artist, right? I mean, these guys, they're going to be successful.
Yeah. How's this for a transition? Dos Tortillas. I feel like this is deja vu. I don't know the story. You were successfully funded with this campaign, but you're back
That's right.
again. And it looks a little bit different actually. The art's a little different, but it still looks good. What's the story?
So basically what happened is, and one thing I want to stress at the beginning of this is that Tortilla team is still strong. There's absolutely no ill will between any of us whatsoever. This is for reasons completely out of any of our control. Our previous artist, Nick Garber, who's the founder and chief operating officer of Apogee Comics, will no longer be doing the interior art, this sequential art for it. He is moving to an editorial position. As a result, we have a new artist that's a gentleman named PK, a owner and operator of PK Artworks, and the colors will be done by Michael Beacon. So the book is changing. The book, as far as artistically, the book is changing quite a bit. And because we successfully funded on the artwork from the previous iteration of Dusty Tortillas, we wanted everybody, absolutely every single one of our backers, to have an opportunity to leave if they wanted to. If they didn't like the new direction everything was going, in fact, we waited for all the announcements until we had the art ready so that we could show them exactly what Dusty Tortillas looks like now. And if they weren't into it, no questions asked, refund. And we have had some refunds. A lot of the reception has been very positive, but we have had people saying we no longer want this book as a result of the change in the artwork. And so obviously they got a refund, and we decided to go ahead and do a second round of funding for two reasons. Basically, one is that Dusty Tortillas doesn't have as much money in the pool as it did before, and two, if anybody didn't like the artwork from the previous iteration and is more interested in what we have now, this is your second chance to buy in case you like what we're offering this time. And that's basically what happens. We still have a good relationship with Nick Garber. He's still on the project. It's still being released through Apogee Comic Books. I think two of the most exciting things, because we're getting down to Miss Myrtle Lynx here. That obviously is in a different style. That's Simon Potier. Simon Potier provided this this pinup art for us, which is a lot of fun. I think the last time I was here, I mentioned the fact that we didn't tell him exactly what we wanted. We Bryn gave him some notes about who she is and what she's like, and then he created a scene of murder and mayhem, the likes of which I have never seen in any whorehouse. But that's if you've never seen me talk about Dusty Tortillas before, that is Miss Myrtle Lynx, the owner and operator of the House of Ill Repute, the aptly named Grindstone. And obviously there were two gentlemen that got rambunctious in her establishment, and she does not go for that.
And I'll point out that's a Derringer with probably 2 shots in it, so
yep.
It's pretty good. Pretty good shooting.
Mm-hmm.
One for each daddy.
And up there, you're seeing some of the sequential art by PK. Of course, if you were here for our last round of funding, these are 2 brand new pages. We wanted to make sure that PK, for the promotional art, was working on something brand new, nothing that anybody had seen previously. And that's a cover by PK. And up at the top, this is the other thing I think that there is to get excited about. Our refunds were opt-in. We said, okay, we gave several notifications. Hey, Dusty Tortillas is changing. Here's what the new artwork looks like. If you don't want the book anymore, let us know. If we don't have notice by this time, then we'll assume that you want the book in its new iteration. And every single one of our backers, every single one of our physical backers, if we were going to mail you something anyway, you get a free gift. This is our loyalty promotion. This is a portion of a new print by Ebi Canales, which we have no plans to dox at the moment. No one except people who have stayed with Dusty Tortillas from the beginning is ever going to see this in its entirety, as far as I know.
Wow, that's cool.
Wow. Yeah.
And that I think that was one thing that was very important to me. It wasn't my idea. But as soon as Bryn was like, we're going to give this out as a loyalty reward, I was like, that's one of the best ideas either of us have ever had. Because anybody who's sticking with us, they deserve something. They really, really do. And so we were lucky enough to get Ebi Canales on the project. And honestly, it's absolutely beautiful. Not going to show anybody here. You'll know in a few months what it looks like.
That's a professional move, man. I commend you. I think that's really good
that. That's all Bryn. Thanks to Bryn.
Make sure everyone is happy and rewarding your customers. That's great.
Well, that's the basis of Comicsgate is it's customers first.
Yeah, exactly. And I posted the link in the chat. It's also in the description below on the video. Go check it out for sure. I'm just gonna look here real quick. Double Barrel, is this the book? $10?
The Double Barrel, that's gonna get you the book and the digital copy.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, very affordable to get in. So yeah.
That's the unsigned digital copy. $15. That's the custom Double Barrel, which will get you the signed copy, signed by me, digital copy, and mentioned on the thank you page. The 3 of a kind, all previous, which includes the pinup of Ms. Myrtle Lynx, and the Gunslinger, which includes the custom sketch card on top of all previous perks.
Nice.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. So check it out. We'll check back in on this again for sure. And I don't know how many. I'll stop sharing here. I don't know how many moderators or wrenches we have in there. But if you want a wrench, let me know. I'll give you a wrench. You guys will be posting.
I would like to say this. The Ballad of Dusty Tortillas back in the saddle has gotten a new backer since I started talking. So thank you very, very much from the bottom of our hearts.
Awesome.
All right. Best backers.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Why don't we jump, Eric? Why don't we jump over to you? It says Eric is lettering God King.
That's true.
What's new in indie comics, man?
God King is new. That's all I got.
There's that. There's that.
It's been like 24 hours now. So.
All right. Very cool. I'm gonna spill the beans, Eric. Is that okay?
I I don't see a problem with it.
Okay,
Open that can of worms.
we've got a contract, so I figure that's that's good enough. So Eric and I are going to be doing a project too, and right now it's called Coma Monk. I mentioned a little bit about it before. I'm really excited about it, but this is not one we're launching anytime soon. But I want to have a lot of artwork done, and if not all of it finished before we launch. This is down the pipeline, but I'm really excited because I like Eric. I like working with him as far as a lettering standpoint goes, and so I think this will be really good to do another book.
Let's clarify. This isn't a project that I'm lettering only. I will be drawing this book.
Yes. I don't. Yeah, got to make that clear. Eric is doing the artwork.
Pitch us.
Doing the artwork. Well,
let's do the idea.
Yeah. Okay. So this is basically about the place between life and death. So our main character in the story is in a coma, and he's been in a coma since he's a teenager. He's been in a coma since he was 12 years old. But in this coma land, he's figured out how to exist and to be happy and to thrive. And he's found a mentor that exists there. And so basically you're looking at, it's kind of like Inception meets Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. So it's going to be like a kung fu story that takes place in a coma. And so I've got a lot of really cool ideas that I'm excited about. So it should be cool.
That's
it's going to be
heavy, man.
Spectacle.
Yeah. I see cultural appropriation in your future.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. It's going to be.
Is his mentor named? I want his mentor to be named Obi-Wan, Obi. but like, is he gonna wake up and like his whole special world is gonna be over? That's what scares me, man.
Well, yeah. So there's no.
He's gonna have to pay taxes and shit.
I think
You have to fight to keep in the coma.
The goal.
Plot twist: it's Wesley Snipes. He won't have to pay taxes.
Aha!
Not in this world.
Hot take.
Yeah, that's the thing is the goal is not about him getting out of a coma. He's in a coma, but it definitely is part of the story. But he can help and interact with other people that go into this area, and so I want to have like a more like formed pitch for sure. But that's very, very basic. That's just kind of the setting and the stuff around it. But he'll be helping other people, and it's I think fertile for a lot of stories that could take place there. So
is it explicitly and provably not in his own head? Like there's an extended network of actual people and personalities, and it's not just his delusion in his coma?
Yes, that's a great question. Yeah, so that's in this initial story is you learn that actually you can affect things in the real world in this coma world. So it is actually a place in existence in the story anyways. And
it's almost like an allegorical kind of parallel to the world around him.
Yeah, it's basically like another dimension. And so there's
does it have a name?
Not yet. I don't know. I've thought like it's the in between. That's a terrible name, but it's kind of this
You'll get there. You'll get there.
I'll think of
was this your story and Eric's, or is it just one of yours? Or
this is a story I've been mulling around for a few months here. So
it's all this guy's.
Yeah, and Eric is just gonna. Eric, I've got to point the right direction. Eric,
he's
got the visual stuff. All we've done so far is I've got a few like concepts for characters. So I love how everybody's pointing and trying to figure out.
Yeah, you got to point backwards, man.
Someone point to me.
A little weird. There we go. Down.
Bonds over here.
Pure entertainment.
Here's the story of a lovely lady.
I can't give you bunny ears. That's a problem.
That's all I can do.
Wouldn't it be funny if your hand could go behind the other guy's head?
Coma tiger.
Oh, sorry.
Hidden catheter. I don't know. That's cool.
Yeah,
so cool.
I think it's cool. When I have the pitch more formed, I think it'll be. I ran my wife through the story, and she always says,
against
like,
her will.
"Man, I don't like that idea. I don't like, And so this one I ran for her, and she's like, oh, I really want you to do that story. I want you to do that story. And I come up with a few other ideas, and she's like, I want you to do the coma story. So I want to too. It's just one of those things, like we need to get it formed, together. But yeah, I want to get it started because it takes a long time to make comics.
It does. As if I wasn't busy enough with Flying Foot and Oz, I decided, hey, why not draw another book?
Yeah.
I assume this is going to come after Oz.
Yeah,
Actually, I think they might be launching pretty close to one another.
Well, yeah, I don't know when you're launching Oz.
Is this a one shot?
It's the plan's 48 pages of this story. I might add another artist or something to do like backup stories, but I'd like this to be, I don't know. I want this first book to just be the best it can possibly be. And if it works okay, then like I said, this is a really fertile story that I can add more stories in this world and stuff.
I can see this. I can see this story, chewing it up 24 pages at a time on, say, newsprint. I think that would be cool.
Oh man, that would be awesome. I'm trying to figure out release schedules of comics. I don't get how they do it. How do people do monthly books?
Assembly line.
They don't have day jobs like we do.
Yep.
Yeah. Even I don't know. Even if you didn't, I don't know. That's just
teams and teams of people,
and they don't have lives in the evening.
Yeah, they're just working. So I don't know. Yeah, that would be cool. This is why I don't know. It's one of those things like I'd rather just get a head start on it and
it'll be starting what in September, October.
Oh no, this won't launch until spring.
No, I will be starting on the artwork.
Oh yes, you'll be starting.
Month, right?
Yes, I'm working on a script. So yeah, he's gonna be starting soon. We're not gonna launch for a long time, but I figure it's one of those things like it's better to be talking about it instead of keeping it secret.
Yeah,
Eric, how much art have you already done on Oz? You've already done quite a bit, right?
Nope.
I thought you had.
I did, but we rewrote. That's hard to say. We rewrote. The book 1 was rewritten. So actually I just got an update to that book 1 and book 2 today. So when I get done with this gosh darn book called Jawbreakers, I'm going to be sketching around thumbnails for Oz for chapter 1 and part of chapter 2.
Oh, cool.
Eric, I got a brain teaser for you.
Tease me.
You were explicit. You were explicit that your work on Coma Monk, you weren't going to be the letterer. You're going to be the artist.
No.
Let's imagine.
Okay.
What? Let's imagine. I commissioned for you to do a book for me, where all of the characters in the comic book are letters of the alphabet. What are you? What are you to that book? Are you the letter or are you the artist?
I'm the god to that book.
The god to the book. Like
God King.
I'm the writer of that book.
Love it.
But I mean, let's face it. You're gonna end up lettering Coma Monk.
Yeah.
Because no one else is as good as you. I mean, I wouldn't let anyone else letter it if I were you.
And nobody else at Comicsgate. I mean,
no.
Yeah.
And plus, it's in the contract, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's signed. we are locked in. That's why I'm announcing it. It's really early, but I don't know. I've thought about it both ways. It just seems better all around if you're talking about like who doesn't know that Rainbow Brute is coming or the Rainbow Brute or Rainbow.
What's a Rainbow Brute?
Oh come on.
Yeah. Hey, evidently he's working on it.
That's what he said. Which
now
makes sense. He's been
That's
busy.
a book I want to letter.
Let it be known. Let it be known.
Steven, you were in there with him, weren't you, when he was talking about that?
Yeah, I let him know. He knows. I don't know if he's going to, but he knows.
Yeah.
Good.
But it's no surprise. It's coming down the pipe and people are excited for it. That's the way. Yeah, it's the Rainbow. Oh, the Rainbow, the Brute, the head rock. That's it covered.
It's not at this point. It's not even just about getting the high quality lettering from Eric. It's having his name attached to your book that I think helps people want to buy it because they recognize it. It's like one of the few letterers you recognize.
Yeah, it could be an art book with no dialogue whatsoever, and he's the letterer on it, and it would sell just for his lettering.
It would.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're giving me ideas for my next Indiegogo.
Yeah.
I think the title of this letter book that we were talking about not too long ago should be Eric Weathers Letters Everything. You know.
Yeah, like that could be a reality TV show.
I want to get into it since I've been doing hand drawn sound effects for the Allegiance books, and it makes me want to take the 10 years it's going to take to hand letter and get that down, even if I do it digitally, but like, you know, on the Cintiq or on the iPad hand letter it.
Yeah, have you? Yeah, you can make your own fonts.
Wow.
Oh, I know, but I mean literally go through and hand letter something. Write it out. I have everything in place to make my own font except time, because I've got to draw this new stupid Coma Monk book. I mean, this fantastic Coma book.
Yeah, I love this comic right here.
It's gonna be rad.
You don't kiss Ethan.
Indie Dave Comics says you don't kiss Ethan's ring in comics, get you kiss Eric's.
Yeah, you know, if I get sick, everything falls apart.
Reverence and worship. That's what it is.
You gotta keep the man happy.
I just want to say that before I came on your show, Clint, I was on with Indie Dave and Sween from, you know, the guys from Oddity.
Oh yeah,
that's such a great looking book, man.
Yeah.
And then I can't wait to see what that jam cover turns out like. You know, it's going to have Cyberfrog, and I think it's going to be cool.
Cyberfrog's going to be on the cover. That's awesome.
Yeah, Ethan's doing Cyberfrog.
Yeah, it's a jam piece. So
yeah,
Sween's is drawing Oddity, and Ethan's drawing Cyberfrog on the same piece of artwork.
I've never heard it. That's called a jam piece?
That's cool.
A jam piece, yeah. Like people at conventions will be like, "Hey, I want the Justice League, but I want all my favorite artists to each draw a character." So they'll commission a jam piece. You know, you have to pay each artist their own fee, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Now, does it have to happen over a specific amount of time? Because like when I think of jams, I think of like video game jams where you have like 48 hours to make a game, stuff like that.
Oh, no. I mean, if you're talking about convention stuff, I've seen jam pieces that go from year to year. They're just like, I gotta get. I want to get George Perez to draw Superman, so he's not here this year. I'll have to wait, or I have to travel 6 states away, or whatever. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, Scott,
I actually have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
Go for it.
No, my question, because we got Doorkickers up. So Doorkickers Panzer Demon, and I think by now you know that I'm relatively unplugged. I have a tendency to allow things to pass by me quickly. So this one has a subtitle. Was there a previous iteration that I just don't know about?
So there's yes and no. All right. So there was a 10-page preview that I released. When you join my mailing list, I can drop the mailing list in the. So if you want to go check it out, just come join my mailing list, and you'll get a link to that. It's in the chat. You get a link to that book, and that book was called Doorkickers Operation Breezy Dream. And so that told the kind of story how the leader of the team joined the Doorkickers. And so it's rather than, I don't have an issue type thing like, first, second, third. The idea is that these stories are just kind of standalones. And the idea, I have other stories that'll come later. I've already got one that's completely, penciled. And so, and they're not necessarily in chronological order either. So you don't, so it's more about the story titles. And I also, philosophically, I heard Ethan talking about this, like, I don't know, last year, talking about why Blood Honey versus like number one or whatever. And so that's why that was one of the things that I thought that was a good rationality he had. So, yeah, I think that's probably it. Does that answer your question?
Oh, definitely. And I really like that because it means that, especially for something, because, having a digital platform is a completely different beast from, doing a monthly or something like that. The fact that there's there's no reason to not. So if you miss out on Panzer Demon, there's no reason for you to miss out on the next one because every story is so self-contained.
Right.
It's very appealing.
It's not to say that there won't be some overlap and continuity. Like for instance, there's a character in this that has some kind of rather crazy stuff happen to him, and so he may or may not be affected in future stories by that. Now, that being said, it won't be necessary to have read this to figure that out. It will just be an effect or something that you see later. You know what I mean? So like there's continuity.
Yeah, you never feel lost.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, that's the idea. Headrock in the chat says, Breezy Dream. Do you get your operation names from XCOM? So no, you want to know how I got Breezy Dream? So in Afghanistan, when we would go after bad guys, you had objective. And so originally the title of Breezy Dream was Objective Breezy Dream. And for whatever reason, the editor decided to change that to Operation Breezy Dream. I was not on board with that. That would go into the remastering idea that if I can get to 10K, we're going to remaster the 10-page story and we're going to put it in the back of Panzer Demon. But there were actually two bad guys. One was, I can't remember, like Breezy Nevada. They had these kind of different 2-word code names assigned to each like Taliban member of a cell or whatever, and like
Revolver Ocelot.
Yeah, just kind of sometimes they're random. Like for instance, there was the Mississippi cell that had like the first name was Mississippi and the second name would be Mississippi Wanderer, Mississippi Tamer, you know, like all these kind of. But it started with Mississippi to identify the fact that he was in that cell. And if Mississippi Tamer moved from that cell to a different cell, say down in Kandahar or something, he would still be known as Mississippi Tamer to show that he traveled. So anyway, so I took literally two unrelated names from real targets in Afghanistan and I put them together. So the first one was something Dream and the other one was Breezy something. So I put together Breezy Dream. So
I like it.
It's actually tied to real operations in Afghanistan.
Very cool.
This would be beautiful fodder for like a Q&A, like essay that you put in the back, like explain like some of the backstory for Doorkickers.
Yeah, there's a lot of because of my just experience and the fact that I'm tying a lot of the stuff in the book directly to things that I to some extent or another either saw or experienced or heard about or whatever. There's a lot of kind of real world connection to things that are going on, but so there's definitely backstory there. I don't know if anybody wants to read about that stuff.
You could write a book of essays if you wanted to.
That's right, and then that would be a separate project.
Just totally joking.
Nobody would back.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Monster.
Actually, I would just get Vaughn to write it for me. That way, I wouldn't. Because he's a way better writer than I am.
He's writing everything. Apparently, even more Monster MD. This is one of those campaigns I'm really glad that I backed already. I haven't even seen it yet, but it keeps growing. What's the new? You added a Heidi story to this?
Oh yeah. So we met our stretch goal for Heidi's backstory, and I finished the script tonight. My editor's going over it now. We have we went from 114 pages to we're 128 now. So it's a cute little short. Well, it's not really cute. It's more of a heart-wrenching, horrific story. I kind of like Monster MD to have its horrific moments, but I like to think when you see their backstories of how they got their monster, or they became a monster or whatever, it's much more tragic. It's much more the dark side of this world. Yeah. So yeah, that's a fat book for $25. Like you get 128 pages. And that's not including the fan art gallery I'm going to be putting in also. So it's going to be a pretty juicy book. I'm psyched over it. I love this new Heidi story. I think the fans are going to love it. Everyone wants to see who she was before she was invisible, how she became invisible. And instead of just like leading people on for years and just keeping their the cojones blue, I'm gonna just let you guys see it. I'm gonna just give the fans what they want out of the box, and hopefully people will really dig Heidi's backstory. So I'm excited about it. I think it came out amazing.
It's cool, man. This campaign surprises me every time I look at it because you're just knocking it out of the park. You have like 1,236 backers. That's so insane. That's amazing.
I mean, I reached out to more than just Twitter. I was on, I made ads for horror websites. I went to different forums and tried to reach out to multiple audiences that I thought might like my book. And as you guys might already know, the horror world, I mean, they're always looking for new content, and the horror fans are amazing. Yeah. And so I'm pretty sure they help. But yeah, the comic fans and the Comicsgate people have been nothing but amazing and made this book what it is. I think the art by Marco and my colorist Tanya really has drawn people in. And of course, Eric Weathers is on it, so you can't go wrong. So yeah, we've got a dream team going. You know, I'm really happy with it.
I hadn't actually seen this previously, and I'm looking through it right now. And that scene where Heidi is smoking, that's just genius. Oh my God. I love it. I really do.
This is one of those must-back books. That's the way I see it. Like there are some like you have to get, like you find a way to get it. This is one of those for me. Yeah, first time I saw it.
I totally agree.
When part of the fun of writing Heidi's story is I know what you've just read when you've read through Monster MD to get to the bonus story with her. And so there's all these little inside jokes in the story. Like, for instance, when you first see her, she's sneaking a cigarette. And of course, when you first see her in Monster MD, you see the lungs and her smoking. So I'm doing I'm paying homage to what you've already seen, like in the first story, which has been kind of fun to do visually.
Yeah.
And stuff. So, you know, they kind of echo each other in a way, so that you know that's Heidi when you see her, even though you're not seeing her as an invisible woman. You're seeing her before she changes, invisible. You're going to find out how she became invisible. So it's pretty awesome. I'm leaning towards blonde.
Okay.
I'm leaning towards blonde.
Currently undecided, I guess.
I mean, we have the art for her, like what she looks like. But yeah, I when I saw what Marco did when I described her to him, but I kept it kind of vague to let him kind of have fun with it. I was like, that's a blonde. She's blonde. But if anyone doesn't know the story, it's basically the story of a local monster doctor who wants out. And he ends up having this horrible night where he almost gets eaten by one of his patients for God knows how many, the umpteenth time. And he decides he's really going to quit. But then Heidi disappears, gets kidnapped by this masked madman who's already ruined his medical career once before when he was in med school by cutting off his arm. So he has to decide, well, he wants to give up on the monsters. Am I going to go, am I going to work with the monsters to help get Heidi back? Am I done for good? As you can see, he has this zombie arm attached to him that was given to him by a monster so he could continue his work. But she asked that he would help people like her, aka monsters. So she gave him the ability to keep doing what he loves, which is medicine and surgery, but he's doing it for the things that go bump in the night. So it's a lot of fun, a lot of conflict, a lot of comedy, a lot of great horror moments, a lot of quotable lines, and just a lot of cameos from monsters you're going to recognize and love. There's kind of an 80s style montage in it where you're going to see a lot of monsters you recognize and hopefully enjoy. So yeah, it's been nothing but fun making this. It's been in the works for years and polished until the chrome came off. So I'm just really proud of it. Really happy with how it's turned out. The amount of work I put into this is just, it makes me tired just thinking about it. So I'm really happy with how it's worked out. I mean, we're at almost 60. So thanks to everyone for supporting that, man.
That's great.
It's killer.
This is like, I don't know, the kind of thing I want to read, kind of thing I want to write to, where it's long enough that you feel like you can get a story arc in there. You know what I mean? Or like,
you
have some time to really escape into the world. this is to me, this is how I prefer to read comics. I was thinking about this, like, what's the best length for a book, really? And I got a little while back the Spider-Verse collection. It's just too much, and most of it's actually an anthology. it's not even the main storyline, but books. I don't know, like, so this to me is the sweet spot. This is how long I want to read it.
And it's not a cliffhanger. Like, that's one of the things that just bothered me as a reader. Not everyone cares, but I do. I don't want to get a crowdfunded book and then have to wait like a year for the next one or whatever. I want a full juicy meal of a story right away, you know? So that was kind of one of my goals with this too.
Yeah.
Avoid the cliffhangers.
Monster likes it juicy.
Love it.
I do.
Quote of the day.
Well, it's this trend in modern storytelling, and I know I'm not telling anybody anything new, but everybody feels like they have to, you know, especially when it comes to how we deal with cinematography and stuff like that. Like, everybody feels like there needs to be an extended universe and an ongoing story, or you're not going to get your viewership back. Which I think I think especially for stuff like Comicsgate, especially for independent comics released online, it's doubly important for us to just have one story because of the length of time it takes to get the second one out.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, and all this is
you could lose your artist, you know, in between, and have to do a new artist, and it just gets it's dangerous.
Yeah,
be careful.
That there's something to be said. It's the production timeline that's the piece I'm really trying to wrap my head around, and a lot of that is, I think you did it right in just getting a lot of it done. Sounds like most of it done.
Even though the pros told me I was crazy, they straight up, like Mike Miller straight up said I'm crazy. Yeah, and I went, yeah, I am, but it's gonna pay off. Like, I'm gonna be I'm the crazy guy you don't know, but because I was crazy, you're gonna remember me and hopefully support my book.
I'm glad you were so successful too, because that it really is a massive risk for the writer to take when you're the one fitting the bill and, you know, making it happen. I get too, like, everybody's working on it for sure, but it costs a lot of money. Costs real money.
I've been working on this for so long and I've restarted the book before. So I had a different artist some time ago, back in like 2015. And I did about almost 75 pages of Monster MD, and it was not the story I wanted. It was not my vision. So that kind of drove me to do better work and push to make this book bigger and more amazing. I rewrote it. I added new scenes. I really made the arc stronger and the characters stronger and just made it a lot better. So yeah, there's a lot driving me. I had an ex-girlfriend who told me that the book would never amount to anything, that I was wasting my time and money. Like, there's a lot of people, like, a lot of obstacles that made me want to grind harder. You know what I mean? So
look at me now.
Look at me now.
Is this the downcast camo page in Monster MD right here?
I switched campaigns because we're still talking. Yeah. But
I like this coloring. I like these colors, man.
Man, Damian Penalba, he's amazing. Like, I don't know. I've looked at a lot of his colors. I'm glad we pulled him into Downcast. And right now we're doing spoiler pages. So it's like, I want to show these things, but people are gonna hate me if I do. Because it's giving away things. But yeah, his coloring's amazing. He always does really cool moody lighting. And I know as soon as we pulled him on board, Nacho did all these window scenes, like with the windows framing things, and that's because Damian's so good at the lighting. Awesome. Night lighting and all that stuff. Yeah, his palette, just picking the right color palette is thanks, Long Block.
That sucks that you're trying to hide from the cops with that grapefruit glowing all big all over them or whatever. Yeah. Like, that would suck. It's like they're gonna look down the alley and see that light, you know?
Yeah, their lives get really complicated really quickly.
Yes.
And oh man, I'm really excited for part 2, because as soon as these pages are finished and we've moved it on and Eric's lettering it, we're immediately starting on part 2, because I don't know, we need a part 2 just to feel, I just feel if I was reading it, I want more to it. So I'm excited. So yeah, we're gonna
hearing about
do
you
that.
talking. It's like it feels like this is the universe you've got in your head a lot of the time.
Oh yeah,
that there's plenty to do. You like these characters.
Yeah, that's the thing is, I don't know. I the way that I feel from a writing perspective is, I would love to have the one story that I'm writing forever and just have it go and make it be this big, long, immersive universe. At the same time, I'm balancing that with what do readers actually want, you know? And that's not always the case, that they want a big ongoing thing. And so for this, I feel like having the 2 parts, like we're committed to that. It's going to have a nice resolution and everything, but it's still a world with I think really interesting characters that I'm excited about. So we'll see. It's one of those things, like I just want people to decide what they want to read, and I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, I don't know. That's the
take a guess.
You're gonna take a guess.
If I was just going to take a guess, considering the kind of reception that you've got for something like Downcast, well, not something like Downcast, specifically Downcast, love him or hate him, Neil Gaiman has been successful in this arena for a long time. And he said relatively famously that what the audience is looking for is exactly what they just got. So I think you could see a lot of success with an extended Downcast mythos or a continuing story.
Yeah, well, that's, I want people to read it for sure, but I also want it to be like, there'll be some resolution for sure. But just like anything, I mean, I think like Scott was saying with Doorkickers, you can still you got different subtitles, right? And they're different stories that exist in that same universe. And so all I'm saying is right now, I don't have any like for sure planned. I just want people to read it and enjoy it and love it. And we'll go from there. But with comics, it's like you just got to plan so far in advance. So I'm really, really eager to get this out and get it into everyone's hands.
I always love to see a Doctor Strange love reference in the chat. So refusing the microchip implant says, the world is falling apart and grown men are talking about comics. The fluoride seems to be working.
The thing is,
we're a quality
service. Yeah. I feel like most of the time in my videos, I'm talking about the world falling apart. So it's kind of nice to talk about comics. We haven't had any politics in any of this, huh? Just maybe a little here or there.
Not to talk directly about politics, but I felt very comfortable this morning. So I got in the car to go to work. And I turned on the radio and Glenn Beck was on. And, instead of turning Glenn off and turning my phone on and listening to some Comicsgate thing, he started talking about the end is nigh and all of his doom and gloom, economic stuff like he used to talk about 10 years ago. I'm like, oh, this is vintage Glenn Beck this morning. I think I might actually listen to it.
Yeah. I didn't. Yeah.
Still alive.
There's the drama, they gotta keep it alive.
That's how he can justify the gold commercials, because any day now the dollar will fall. Any day.
I'll tell you, if I made that kind of money, I'm assuming he makes some good money. If I made some good money, I would be doom and gloom if I needed to be.
Hey man, me too.
Yeah, as long as it's entertaining.
I've said this. I'll say it right now for the benefit of the audience, because I'm pretty sure I'm right. If we enter into a Thunderdome apocalypse, the currency of the future is not gold; it is bullets. You'll be able to pay for things with extra bullets. Promise you that today. So
I will let it apocalypse.
You'll let it in apocalypse.
I'll let her it. Yeah.
Let her it.
Yeah, we'll let her go.
Gotta keep the money flowing.
I gotta pay the bills, man. Even in the apocalypse.
That's why I buy it cheap and stack it deep, man.
That's right. I'm rolling.
I have a theory that almost every writer has their apocalypse story. Is that true, guys? Do you have your apocalypse story?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've got 4. But it's an interesting concept.
Eric has Oz.
That's more dystopian than apocalyptic, but
is it more dystopian? Okay.
Yeah, I already wrote All for Owen was a post-apocalyptic story, so it was a novel, not a comic. but that's what it was. So
You were an author back then too. You were a writer back then, so it counts.
I was an author back then and not a writer.
I was clarifying. You were a writer back then.
Okay.
Every
All right.
writer has their apocalyptic story. You were a writer back then. So
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Let's see. I got to add Sweetcast
cool.
here. Vice will be the most lucrative venture. Vice is in the news site.
I think
I'm
as in
not
the
sure.
concept.
I think
in a post-apocalyptic future.
The behavior.
Drugs, sex.
I think you're right.
Brothels.
Yeah. Yep. I think you're right. Cool. Let's take a look back at all these campaigns, and then I think I'll let you guys go. I need to make a video, so I have one to post tomorrow. The Ballad of Dusty Tortillas. I'm gonna refresh it here, and 15 backers right now. That could change any moment. If anybody watching wants to jump in, give us a elevator pitch for this.
Elevator pitch for this is best stated on the campaign itself, with a little coloring by me. When Dusty Baker, aka Dusty Tortillas, interfered in an assassination attempt on the mayor of Melville, he unknowingly took the first step down a treacherous path. Aided by his lifelong friend Misty Trousers, our young hero begins to uncover a conspiracy that could jeopardize the entire town. Now, obviously, it's a Western. It has to be with a name like Dusty Tortillas. And obviously, it's a humor book. It has to be with names like Misty Trousers. And I think it's best said by our editor, Nick Garber. This is as if Quentin Tarantino directed Blazing Saddles. Hyperviolence, sexy girls, lots to chuckle at, and plenty of suspense.
Nice. Get in there, check it out. We've got Doorkickers as well. Give us your elevator pitch, Scott.
So essentially, Special Operations Group uses magic and technology to fight supernatural threats. It kind of, it's equally cosmic horror, fantasy, and also very hyper real, gritty military action. So it's got a little bit of something for everybody. A lot of crossover appeal. Definitely, Vaughn, you need to hook me up with some of your horror peeps, because I think there's, as you can see on this page right here, there is definitely a horror element to it, and
cool.
The deeper we get into the story, the deeper the horror gets. So, by the way, I always like to bring news to Clint's stream whenever I come here. And so the piece of news that I have is Alejandro Mirabal is going to be doing the creature concept designs for the demon at the end.
Whoa!
Imagine how cool that bitch is going to be.
That's so cool.
Sweet.
So cool. Man, he's such a great artist.
Yeah, if I could afford him, but towards the end of the campaign, if I could afford him, I might just, essentially he had a X amount for the character and X amount more to make it like a scene. So I think probably by the end, I'll just have him do the scene because I can't help myself. I'm a terrible businessman and just want to pay for that piece of art.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Oh man, it'll be worth it.
Absolutely, and that will definitely be included in the book as a backup piece, a pen up, or something like that.
Well, you picked up another backer since I refreshed it. You have 147 backers now.
606.
That is ominous. And I should probably I better pull up. I'm gonna here, Eric. I'm gonna get Flying Fortress up, and you got to give us a pitch.
A top tier B-17 crew on a secret mission to bomb Hitler crash land in the Middle Ages after being shot down by an experimental aircraft. They discover a plot by the evil Infinite Reich to take over every dimension, and they must do what they can to stop it, figure out how they got there, and get back home. We recently cracked $30,000, and that unlocked artwork of a trading card with artwork by Aaron Alfecci of Jawbreakers God King fame to tie it back into my introduction into the stream tonight. It's over 200 pages of story that takes place between that's the wrong way of saying it. The story takes place in 1943, but the story was drawn between 2011 and 2017. Drawn, written, colored, lettered, all of that. So we're remastering it. I'm updating some of the artwork, relettering the entire book, putting it all together in one omnibus edition, if you will. And yeah, it's here for you, the people.
Nice.
Enjoy.
Looks really, really good.
Yeah.
We got to go at Downcast 2. This is my book, not Downcast 2.
Yeah.
Downcast also. Guys, I'm less than $150 away from 30 grand. And I feel like if I hit 30 grand, then I don't know, I'll just feel great. I already feel good. That's a
No, just cut it out. Just close it down now.
we're shutting it down.
Cut it out.
Shut it down.
I guarantee you we'd get some backers jump in, then we'd hit 30,000. But probably, I don't know. I think so. Latecomers sometimes. But yeah, if you haven't checked it out, I'm promoting it every single day in videos. I know you all see it, but yeah, if you haven't backed it, check it out. We've only got 20 pages left, and things are intensifying. Also, just in the pages that I'm getting, they're sort of in the climax of the story, and so yeah, it's just really cool. I'm really, really excited to bring this to you guys and get it into your hands, all 867 backers of you.
Dang, I thought you were going to say pages.
Oh man, we wouldn't be done for a very, very long time. I'm just checking. Here's it at Sweetcast. I hope there have been no super chats, by the way, because I don't know that it notifies me. Maybe I'm going to stop sharing and just look here real quick. Yeah, I don't think I've seen any super chats though, but those do work. Just so you all know, you can super chat. But here's one here that says, "Hey Clint, what do you know about Galactic Rodents of Mayhem? And do you plan on having them on some night? Already backed everyone else." Haha. Yeah, I invited him on sort of a last minute thing, and he wasn't able to make it, and that's because I saw the book and it looked like something I would be interested in. I'm like a big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan, and to me it seemed like I'm
Oh yeah.
this is not their pitch, this is my pitch. To me it looked like Guardians of the Galaxy meet Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, their capybaras. So yeah, I thought it looked awesome. I feel like that campaign, I really, really, really want it to get funded because I want it. That's another one.
I think it looks like Alien Legion meets Neutrino Rats.
Ooh, yeah. That's a good one. Maybe we'll pull it up here just for just so we can look at it. I don't know what his schedule is, but yeah, his book looks good, and I've talked to him a little bit. They're at 2,000. I should probably share my screen, huh?
The art looks nice, man. Colors, everything.
It's real solid.
Looks professional.
Yep, it's a good looking book.
Yeah.
Are you lettering this too, Eric?
No.
No.
But,
wow, we found one.
But he's reached out to me for something else. So.
Oh, cool.
I think this was already. The team was already put together.
Yeah.
How's this doing? Can you go back up to? I want to see where it's at.
It's not doing good enough. 70 backers. Not that this is bad. Don't get me wrong. I just want it to be funded now. Their goal is 15 grand, and this is, I think he's being very realistic with what it takes. Yeah. This is also no joke. Like I think this is at least 96 pages, I believe. Over 100 pages. Yeah. So this is one of those things. Sorry, what was that?
I was just going to ask, is the artist running this campaign?
So it looks like it's Gilbert Deltres, and he is the writer. So he's done a few different campaigns that I know I've seen around. Trying to
campaign looks good. I mean, just like the campaign page.
Yeah, the art looks really good. Even down to the logo looks fantastic. This looks like better than probably 75% of the stuff that IDW is publishing. It just looks really good.
Don't even say that, because you saw the G.I. Joe thing that they did. Oh.
Just some bad stuff. But yeah, this looks good. I read through it too, and it was just, I don't know, it's just fun. To me, this is what I love about comics. It's just fun. So yeah, and the capybara thing, that's clever. Fun animals. Never thought of how you would incorporate it into your book. And if you happen to be a furry, this pinup is for you.
Okay. Oh my!
Oh jeez.
Just a rabbit.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
I'm unshaven.
From a strictly from a marketing campaign, I really respect how they know exactly what they're paying homage to, but they didn't do anything like, you know, make them martial artists or like fall into a naming convention where it was, you know, 3 descriptors and a noun. Like it is very much its own thing, while skirting that line and making us nostalgic for it, while still definitely having an identity.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it looks good. This is one that caught my attention personally. As soon as I saw it, I was like, when is this launching? And he was like, today. So I backed it. And yeah, if you haven't yet, check it out because I really want to get the book. And this is fixed goal 15,000. That's really reasonable. I mean, this is what he needs to make the book. And I hope that he makes 3 times as much as this at least.
I helped support one of his one-shots before this, Pistolero. And that was a very like kind of cool, grungy, Tarantino-esque Western revenge story about a woman who gets raped by this evil sheriff and then learns how to use a gun and comes back to take him on in a pistol duel. I think she does it like 9 months later too, because she's she's definitely about to burst. When she does. So it's kind of badass. It's pretty badass, and like he can spin a yarn, this guy. So more power to him, and it's cool to see his next book be something more high quality, more professional, more and definitely bigger. It looks like it's over 100 pages. That's great.
Yeah, over 100 pages. Yeah, looks good, and he's a proven writer. He's done I think at least 3 other campaigns successfully, and
so
got it shipped out to people. So yeah, check it out. Lots of good stuff in indie comics right now. Thanks everyone. I'll catch you tomorrow with a new video. Bye.
Later.
Here's the awkward part where it takes forever to close down.